Services. She's been involved in the government's global travel task force. So I suppose essentially you've had a sense of the debate that's going on at the moment, both in the industry and between the industry and government. What stage do you think it's reached?
Yes, good morning. I was fortunate to fit into one of the workshops, and I know the government are really keen to work with industry on confidence and how we resume international travel. And I think what we heard yesterday was confirmation of the framework that will be established as and when travel can resume, and obviously we know the earliest is 17th of May. There is undoubtedly a lot of questions that we still need to understand, a lot of clarity, and in particular what the measures will be that will move countries. So how does one country that is in green today potentially move to other colours of the traffic light system? So a lot of data and a lot of detail that still needs to be worked through.
And I suppose, I mean, the difficulty is, in a sense, and I'm sure you and other people in the industry understand this, it's a moving target, isn't it? Because, as we see from, I don't know, simple example, Portugal, a country that's gone from a really serious crisis into a situation where it appears to be emerging from that crisis, its status could change relatively quickly in such a system, and there's going to be a certain amount of risk involved for you as travel operators, presumably, because you could suddenly find a country you invested a lot in terms of travel opportunities, places people stay and so on, is suddenly a red country in a matter of weeks.
It is very difficult, and I think one thing that we've certainly known for the last 12 months now is what is clear is that there is no certainty. However, we are in a very different place now in terms of vaccine rollout. The genomics that our countries and other countries have are phenomenal now, so we are able to have a lot more data underneath us that we had 12 months ago. So I think we are in a very different place, and that's why the government are very clear that, of course, opening up is the right thing to do. And the travel industry responded really well. There's been a lot of innovation in the industry, a lot of investment in terms of how, as and when travel can resume, how the industry ensures that we are mitigating risk with increased hygiene protocols. And a really key point that actually for any consumers that are looking to book, making sure they now have access, because it's not illegal to book, you can still book for the summer. And for anyone that wants to do that can do so with flexible terms and money-back guarantees.
Yeah, no, that's a really important thing, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people inevitably got caught out last year. They maybe didn't have an adequate insurance cover. I guess a lot of the travel insurance policies had never really reflected the potential of a global pandemic, and that presumably has changed.
It's absolutely, and last year, and I hate using the word unprecedented, but I don't think we'll all be in the same position given how literally overnight the travel industry was accepting hard to bring passengers back. But I think we are in a different place now. We've learned a huge amount. There are flexible options, so travel agents and tour operators working really hard to make sure consumers have access to flexible terms. And it's not just about holidays. We've got customers that are trying to reunite themselves with families across the world, haven't seen each other for a year. So really important we give everyone the opportunity and confidence to book, and in the event of changes that have to be made in the back of government advice, that they have the flexibility and option to be able to make those changes confidently.
Just finally, how much smaller is the travel industry going to be that emerges from this pandemic than the one we went into, do you think?
Oh, certainly for this year, the travel industry is a fraction of the size that it was in 2019. I mean, my members, and they are high street travel agents, and some of them are home workers as well, they're trading at 20% of the levels that they were in 2019. So it's set to be a difficult time. They're looking forward on Monday to opening up, although they are classed as non-essential retailers. They're opening up on Monday. And whilst they'll be there to help their consumers navigate through these difficult times, still pretty uncertain and a pretty difficult time ahead.
Julia Bue-Said, thank you very much for being with us this morning.